Welcome back, friends. You know those days when you finally get a moment alone, but you feel too numb or scattered to even enjoy it? You've spent the day doing things for everybody else, and now that you finally have a little space to breathe, all you can do is scroll on your phone or just shut down. You're not lazy, you're depleted, and it's not your fault. We've been taught that self-care is a treat. It's a little something extra if we've been productive enough. But what if the reason you're exhausted, overwhelmed, or detached is that self-care isn't a luxury anymore? It's a necessity, and your nervous system knows it. Today, I want to talk about why self-care has to become a non-negotiable, not just for your mental health, but for your physical well-being, your ability to focus, your relationships, and your long-term capacity to show up in your life. We'll talk about recognizing nervous system overload, what a real reset looks like, and how to build sustainable, nourishing care into your life, even when you're busy. There's a reason that so many of us resist self-care. We've been conditioned to believe it's indulgent, that it's selfish, that it's only for people who have a bunch of time or a bunch of money. Self-care gets marketed as spa days, scented candles, and weekend getaways. And don't get me wrong, those things can be awesome. But when you're deep in exhaustion and overwhelm, they're not the kind of self-care that your nervous system really needs. Real self-care, the kind that brings your body and mind back online, often looks a lot simpler. But it does require something we don't always give ourselves: permission. Permission to pause. Permission not to be productive every minute of the day. Permission to meet our own needs. If you've been snapping at your kids over tiny things, forgetting important tasks even though you're trying your best to stay on top of it all, or lying in bed at night, unable to fall asleep even though you're completely exhausted, those are signs that your nervous system is asking for help. You might even notice some physical symptoms: low HRV or heart rate variability, hormonal imbalance, or a weakened immune system. If you have a smartwatch or another way to measure your HRV, I highly recommend paying attention to it. I've linked to my episodes about HRV because it's a great way to see how stressed out your body is over time. And as your HRV gets higher, your nervous system is getting healthier. So it's a great way to see if these tools that we're talking about are actually working for you. So let's talk about what's actually happening in your body when you're constantly overwhelmed. A chronically dysregulated nervous system can show up in so many different ways. Physically, it might be tension in your neck or shoulders, fatigue that you can't shake, frequent headaches or migraines, digestive issues, or hormonal imbalances. Emotionally, you might feel anxious, reactive, or irritable, or on the other hand, you might be completely numb and disconnected. Mentally, you might find yourself looping on thoughts, overthinking, struggling with decisions, or just feeling like your brain isn't working like it normally does. Maybe you have some brain fog. Your body is built to respond to stress, not live in it. When we stay stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, we lose access to the parts of us that are designed for presence, connection, and joy. And here's the thing: collapsing on the couch isn't the same as resetting. You might not be doing anything, but if your mind is racing or your body still feels tense, you're not actually regulating your nervous system. So how do we actually reset? The answer isn't intensity. We don't need to go take a trip for a week and get away from our family. It's actually just all about intention and consistency. A true reset does not come from numbing out. It comes from tuning into ourselves at regular moments each day, especially when you're feeling the stress. Some of the most effective tools for regulation are really simple and accessible. The first tool is breath work. Just a few minutes of deep conscious breathing can shift your state quickly. And if you have time, a longer session can really calm your nervous system. I've linked to my favorite breathwork practice by Brie Melanson on Insight Timer. I found myself doing this practice every night for about 2 months a couple of years ago, and I feel like it finally allowed me to reset my system and really be able to relax. I highly recommend it, and it's a great free practice. Next, you can do body scans. Bring awareness to the parts of your body that are holding tension. You can think of something that's stressing you out or triggering you, and then scan your body to see where you feel it. Most likely it's going to be somewhere in your central channel along the line of your chakras, but you can really feel it anywhere. Once you feel that tension in your body, just focus on it. I want you to sit there or lay there and breathe into that tension. Keep your focus on the place where you feel it and try to increase the intensity of that tension by thinking about whatever's triggering you or stressing you out. If you do this for a few minutes, you'll eventually notice that the feeling starts to dissipate. And then what's really cool is that the next time that this trigger comes up, you're going to be less stressed about it. We hold stress in our bodies, and when we consciously release it, it doesn't come back as strong the next time. It's like magic. We've also talked about meditation. Even just 2 or 5 minutes a day can really start to rewire our brain and our baseline of stress over time. Listen to episode 9 for more about meditation. It really is one of my favorite tools. And last, another one that we talked about, make sure you have boundaries around your phone and alerts and other stimulation like that. Alert fatigue causes so much stress in our lives and keeps us on alert rather than in a state of relaxation. Take breaks from your phone, from noise, and from multitasking, and it can make a huge difference. Listen to episode 3 for strategies around reducing alert fatigue. These aren't grand gestures. They're small acts of just being present with yourself. Moments where you check in with how you're feeling and offer yourself what you really need. Self-care isn't about a break from your life. It's what allows you to keep living it in a sustainable way. But that isn't to say that a break doesn't help. I recently took a 2-night work trip and I ended up with a lot more alone time than I typically get. It was amazing to witness the changes to my everyday life for a few days. I was consistently working with and teaching my kids again, even when they were whining. When I'm more regulated, I can help regulate them as well. And so I'm not saying that those breaks don't help. But the truth is, those breaks, they don't build resistance. Maybe when you take a 2-day trip, you'll get another 2 days of calm. But what actually supports your nervous system is the long-term consistency of the practices that we're talking about. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't wait for a dental emergency to take care of your mouth. You do little things every day, like brushing and flossing, to maintain the health. And your nervous system needs similar maintenance. This is exactly what I help my clients do. We build a nervous system-friendly life, and we'll create a rhythm that supports both their presence and their productivity. It allows them to feel both aligned and grounded, but also efficient and productive. And if this is something that you're craving, my upcoming course is designed to help you make that shift. You'll learn how to stop swinging between overdoing and underdoing, and instead create a sustainable practice that helps your nervous system every single day. So let's bring this all together. Self-care isn't optional. It's a requirement for a regulated, fulfilled life. Your nervous system isn't just stressed, it's asking for consistent support. And the most powerful self-care doesn't look like much from the outside, but it's deeply felt inside. So if you're ready to stop surviving and really want to support your nervous system, I'd love to invite you to learn more about my upcoming course. You'll find the link to the waitlist in the show notes or at motheryourenergy.com. In the meantime, I encourage you to reflect. What's one signal your nervous system has been sending you lately? And what's one small way you can respond to it with care? Thanks for being here today. Until next time, trust yourself, trust your body, and remember, you don't need to earn your rest. You deserve it whenever you want it.